Howdy guys, I'm Aden from Lions Honor Gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Super Mario World. You might recall in the last one, it took a little while for us to get rid of Roy's castle, and now we're back at it again, hoping that this time, perhaps, I can get my shit together, defeat Roy Koopa, and move on with my life. Now I gotta admit, gameplay-wise, this is probably the hardest section of Super Mario World, because not only are we doing Roy's Castle, we're also doing like all of Chocolate Island, and it's 2 castles, and both of them are rough in their own ways. You'll see once we get to it, but it's like, geez, if you can get through Chocolate Island, you can get through the rest of the game. Bowser's World, nothing. Final Fight, nothing. Chocolate Island, oh, good lord. Pain. It's the only time Mario World gets like even remotely as hard as some of the previous entries. And I don't know why it's only in Chocolate Island for the most part. Forest of Illusion has its bits. You know, a couple of levels have their bits. Chocolate Island consistently is a big oof. That starts with us first defeating Roy, which we shall do. Because I do want to finish the series. We're so close, after all. Only about 3 episodes away. So I gotta do it. Consider it an early Christmas gift. The gift of Aden finishing things on LHG. It doesn't happen often. But sometimes we get our shit together and we actually finish things. Ayo, take that, Roy. 1 hit down. 1 hit down. This is very similar to the Morton fight, I believe. Where he just kind of walks up ceilings and drops down, hurting you. And then you just kind of bop him 2 times in the head and he's done. Nice. Get wrecked, Roy. Take that fat L. Would not want to meet Roy at an Applebee's. Not gonna lie. He just seems like the type of dude that would not be very nice, you know. Maybe give the staff a hard time. Oh, what's wrong with the castle? Oh, there it is. It just took a little while. That's all, Mario. Just had to wait. Just had to wait your turn. Yep, onward to the dangerous but tasty Chocolate Island. You can't even eat Chocolate Island. That's false advertising. I'm on to you, fucking Nintendo. You think you can just do this shit to me? No, sir. I'm on to you. And here we go, Chocolate Island 1. It's not even connected to the main island, and I'm already saving my data because I know the pain that I'm in for. Good lord. The dinosaurs are cute, though, I will admit. For as a pain in the ass as they can be to deal with, they're fast, they shoot lava. The big ones can be kind of dangerous. I do like them. They're very cute. Look at that. Like one of them already took damage off on me. That one killed me. Despite their cute exterior, you can't be messing around with no dinosaurs, bro. If Jurassic Park happened in real life, best believe I'd be the first one out of town. I'd steal a Jeep Grand Cherokee and drive off. Dang, you can fuck with the Velociraptors all you want. I'm out of here, bro. Ain't nothing good coming from me trying to reawaken a creature that roamed this earth millions and billions of years ago. Imagine having a T-Rex running around. That ain't good. That can't be good. You could say you could have them in a zoo or a park, but you know, one idiot crosses over the line and decides they want to go into the pen with the T-Rex, and you know, shit ends up poorly. Can you imagine a Harambe type situation, but instead of a gorilla in the cage, it's just a fucking Velociraptor? Timmy would be dead. Like, eat him alive, bro. The parents would just watch as a Velociraptor, like, tore each individual limb from his body with his tiny little hands and ate his brains out in public. I guess that's what they thought Harambe would do, but like, you know, monkeys are pretty chill. I mean, you can piss them off and they can go ape shit, literally. But comparatively, I'd rather try and deal with a gorilla than a velociraptor. So those things are cold-blooded. They're literally like lizards. They don't care about me. They don't have a connection to humanity. They just got a little peanut brain, and their brain just tells them kill, kill, kill. That's all they know how to do. Like, in terms of cute dinosaurs, right? There's like Triceratops, but they can impale you. Stegosaurus, they're kind of cute, but again, their tail could impale you. And then like the long neck motherfuckers, right? They eat plants, so it wouldn't be that bad. But still, one of them might not watch where they're going, you know, and just step on you. Like that much foot traffic could not be a good thing. So as much as people love their dinosaurs, it would just not be a very poggers thing to have them around. Maybe if they started doing Let's Plays, actually. You know, like maybe if they started getting into the content creation game, that would be kind of neat. But to my knowledge, I don't think we've ever seen a dinosaur who could epic Let's Play quite like I could. So, when that day comes, and the dinosaurs start taking over my job, then we'll talk. But until then, their stupid lizard brains probably couldn't comprehend what's going on the screen right now. They think it's food. Like, no, you can't eat Mario. You can't consume the ghost on screen. It's called a video game, you dumb velociraptor. You'd probably show them an image of another velociraptor and they think they're friends. Like when you put a mirror in front of a puppy dog, and they're like, whoa, another dog? Bro, that ain't no other dog. That's a reflection, dum-dum. That's how I imagine dinosaurs being able to handle video games. They just probably think it's a predator or a prey. Like, I would love to eat video games, but unless it's a Switch cartridge, I don't think you can do that. So take that, you dummy dumbs. Anyway, I'm done talking about dinosaurs. I've had enough dinosaur-related talk for one series. Feels like that's a thing I always have to come back to. I want to briefly, I guess, since we're heading up to the end of the year, talk about what the future of LHG looks like. Just because we typically don't do channel update videos or really give any major form of communication as to what our plans are. Because most of the time we have no plan, right? Most of the time we're winging it. Or if we do have a plan, it's not really a good idea for us to announce anything. Just because there's a very real possibility that nothing could come out from it. And then we just look like an idiot. So we tend to just sort of ride by the seat of our pants. If things get uploaded, they get uploaded. If they don't, things don't. So that's why you have like months, like November, where just nothing comes out, but like a mini Metro video. But then some months, like December, oh wow, we're getting a lot of Stardew's and Breath of the Wilds and all sorts of stuff. Did you guys record in December? No. We've had all that stuff recorded for a while, except for Stardew. That we did do recently. But all those Breath of the Wilds we've had recorded in the bank. We just hadn't been putting them out because we go very off and on. There's points where LHG be popping off, and there's points where it's like, I don't really know if anything will come out for a while. We'll just have to wait and see. The whole Fortnite thing was just like one of those happenstance series where Zach literally pitched it that night at 5 a.m. And then next thing we know, we're in a call being recorded. And we got some very funny stuff. I'm glad Zach recorded that. That just doesn't happen every day, though. So with that being said, what are some definitive things that we actually do have planned for LHG that I can actually talk about happening? Well, one of them is going to be a move towards 60 FPS stuff. Now, the reason we hadn't been able to do it in the past was just because of hardware limitations. We all kind of ran different machines and different capture cards, so we couldn't really promise a continuous look for LHG and the quality of gameplay we were all able to record. But weirdly, like over this past year, somehow me, Zach, and Jay all ended up with the same internal Elgato capture card. And once you know it, it happens to do really good 1080p and 60 FPS. So all three of us were covered now. Now that we're all gonna have similar hardware, I'm getting a new computer. We're all gonna have these Elgato cards. And then Parker, despite how his computer can kind of be iffy, he's able to record 60 FPS stuff frequently. Like Stardew, like that's been a 60 FPS series for a while, and that's just because he can record computer games like that. Not everything, obviously, but something smaller like Stardew's easy. And so it was really at that point where we're like, well, Kyle's the only one who probably can't record 60 FPS stuff. And even then, typically we're doing the recording or playing when we have Kyle on board. Like one of us will be recording and he's just commentating. Or we have a different setup in mind. So it just kind of made us realize that, oh yeah, we could probably commit to just doing 60 FPS stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. Now there still may be some series that come out in 30, but the goal is to have the norm be more towards 60 FPS. Just because more people are gonna be able to handle it. And if you can't, there's always the lower quality option. That means you can watch it without it being in 60. So it really didn't hurt us not to try it. It's just we all had so much different hardware, but now that we do have such similar hardware, we can do it. Another thing I can talk about is that in terms of series on LHG, we're trying to obviously finish a lot. So Breath of the Wild should finish this month, obviously. This series should finish this month. Stardew might finish this month. It might be really close and push into January slightly. But it will be done in a pretty quick amount of time. Which means that we actually have time to start recording some new stuff. And I don't want to announce what those new series are, you know, just in case we decide not to do them or whatever. But just know it's always a priority on my end that if we start a game, or at least a longer one, our intention is usually to finish it. And I know we haven't always done that before. But this year we did a pretty good job of like finishing some long-running series. Like Sonic is done. Fire Red is done. Breath of the Wild and Stardew are gonna be done, right? So, unless it's like a one-off game, or a game that has like no definitive ending and is only gonna last for like 3 or 4 episodes, typical to like a Fortnite or a Jackbox game, then we're probably gonna finish some stuff, you know? And that just has to do with not trying to do so many smaller series and just focusing on like some bigger, longer form stuff. Or versus. I know Jay really wants to do more versus stuff. And given the fact that you guys like the Mega Man 2 versus, the Mario Odyssey one, the Star Wars one, there's probably going to be more verses on LHG too. It's just hard to record those to get everybody involved, but I know Jay has a huge passion for those, and so we're going to continue to do them. Really, the only like major thing we're doing, scaling back-wise, is a game club. Will probably not be a thing in 2021. I've already mentioned this on Aden on Anchor and several places online, but Game Club, our podcast on LHG, will probably not continue into 2021. And the reason I've stated as to why that's the case is just because it never really like got an audience. Typically we were talking about 2 or so listens per episode. And no, that's because it's LHG based. Not everybody is interested in those game discussions. And I didn't advertise it that much, frankly, either. But I'd rather dedicate my time toward recording some series or other projects and not have to spend so much time editing pretty long podcasts. Like Game Club could get pretty long, and it took a lot of work to schedule and record, and the effort did not match the output or the results. So I'm probably not gonna be doing Game Club. It might come back. There might be an episode every now and then, but it's not gonna be like a focus of mine, you know? It's not gonna be a major thing that I'm gonna push. For the most part, it's like, it's done, pretty much. And that's fine. Again, not too many people watched it. But in case you wanted to know, Game Club coming back? Probably not. Which means the last piece of LHG news I have to mention in terms of just the future and what we have planned is just reminding everybody that, once again, this is a side channel, right? It's a side project. It's something that is not the core focus of any of us. Not me, not Kyle, not Jay, not Zach, Parker. It's something we do on the side. And so LHG is never going to be that thing that, like, is always going to have uploads, is always going to have series, is always going to have the best content put forward, is always going to have guests, is always going to have a high production value or edit. Like, if anything happens on LHG, consider that in and of itself a blessing. Consider anything coming out as like a best case scenario, right? And if shit doesn't come out, well, that probably means we're working on our own stuff, and that's great. That's wonderful news. The fact that, like, LHG can be on pause sometimes and it's flexible is great for us, because that means Zach can work on Aden, or I could work on Blue Couch Productions, or Jay could work on his own stuff. We've all done so much better in terms of our own content this year that, of course, LHG had to sit out a good bit of that time. So just know that, like, even if there are slow patches, or if things aren't coming out, or if it takes a little while for uploads, just know we're still working on stuff. We're still going to be doing LHG in the upcoming year. We're not quitting it, right? It's still a priority. But it might, you know, occasionally be a little slow every now and then. That's all. Just keep that in mind. We did this stage completely wrong. That's not the exit you're supposed to take. So what's actually going to happen now is, because we didn't do it right, we're going to loop around. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like when you do the correct exit. So let's go back. So here we are. Got Yoshi in hand. You're supposed to take this blue Koopa, fly over this pole, and then go all the way to the end. And it's wild, because I had Yoshi and the blue thing, but I just stopped right there. I should have kept going to get the actual correct exit. So in case you're wondering how you're supposed to do it, that's how. Once you get that Koopa and Yoshi, you're pretty much guaranteed you have plenty of length to get into it. But I figured I'd mention that, because I did not do it the first time. And now, we can move on to Chocolate Fortress. One of 2 castles here. And I think this is the only one that doesn't have a Koopa Kid or Bowser. This is just its own sort of standard boss and standard level. Which I'm not sure why that is. I wondered if they just, like, threw it in for fun. They had an extra level, or maybe they thought it needed to be more challenging. But it does kind of come out of nowhere. But hey, it's fun. It's unique. It's innovative. Last thing I'll say about this whole future of LHG stuff is to be on the lookout for new things. Be on the lookout for new series. I'm really happy with how things turned out this year. We've passed the 300 upload mark, which is insane for a side project. We've actually done more Let's Plays here than I think on my channel, Zach's, and Jay's, which is nuts. I think Parker and Kyle have done more than LHG, but we're catching up to them too, believe it or not. So don't be surprised if in a couple of years LHG is just like the prime Let's Play hub. But not only have we put out the most stuff this year and hit that 300 milestone, we've also put out some of my favorite stuff. Like, if you have not watched Breath of the Wild, shit is insanely funny. Stardew is insanely funny. The Mega Man 2 verses, really funny commentary stuff. We've done a good job showing off a variety of different games, not all of them Nintendo related. I wanna be showing weirder stuff sometimes, and it's hard to do that just to get everybody involved. But I think we've shown a good variety. I've enjoyed the one-offs. Having Ethan on board for some of that's always been fun, and who knows, I might record some more stuff with him by the end of this year. But like the 30-minute challenge episode of Pokemon Sword, like, if you haven't just checked out some of the stuff we've been doing, I'd recommend doing so, because it's been some of the best we've had. Or or even just going back and watching some old Finish series now that they're done. It's a lot to check out, and I'm super happy with how this year turned out. And thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting us. Thank you all for continuing to be patient and put up with everything that goes on, even if sometimes it can be slow. We appreciate you guys, and we're always trying to do more stuff. So yeah, sort of the feature of LHG things. Let you know how we're doing, I guess, later into 2021. But this is the boss. This is Reznor. What a weird idea. These like 4 Triceratops. You gotta like knock them down off each of those platforms. And I almost did it there, but I fell in the lava and died. Here's a second attempt. Cut into the chase a little bit better. Basically all I did this time around was just a little bit quicker. You hop on one of these platforms, wait for it to turn around, right? And then he won't see it coming. Because the fireballs are actually really easy to dodge. The scary part is just the platforms coming up from under the ground. So if you have to, knock down 1 or 2 of them relatively early and have a mushroom ready, and then just ride that carousel and knock the other 2 out. And you can do it pretty quickly. Like, don't feel like you have to stay on the platform. Because I think that's a way better strategy of just hopping on the carousel and waiting if you have to. But that's one castle down. Now we got another one after a couple more levels. Chocolate Island 4 being one of them. This is definitely the part of the game that made me wish that there was a more typical save structure. It's like most modern Mario games, you can just save after every level. Or just save when you want to in some cases. Mario World, on the other hand, the only time you're allowed to save is by doing any of those switch houses, which, you know, are secretive, so they're hard to find. Or by doing like a castle. So a mid-castle, a big castle, like milestones of 2 or 3 or 4 levels. And that can be fine if the levels are simple and you have a ton of lives. But if you only have like 5 lives because you got a game over, there's certain stretches of this game that can be really brutal because you only have a limited amount of lives and no resources, and you can't just save after each one. So you're essentially forced to do certain parts of the game perfectly. And this is one of those sections. Having to deal with Chocolate Island 4 and this upcoming castle in less than 5 lives. Oh, and another level too, actually. Chocolate Island 4, the next level, and a castle all on 5 lives without dying is like one of the most rage-inducing things. I actually did that in the first Mario World playthrough. I just raged so hard. Because I could do one of these levels fine, or both of them fine, and then not do well at the castle, fuck up, and then have to redo all 3 of these over again. So you can master certain parts of this game. But it doesn't matter unless you're able to do all the stages before saving perfectly. And so that can be frustrating. I know I've spent a good bit of this Mario World series complaining. But that only comes out of a love for the game. Because still, at the end of the day, like, this game's bullshit is not nearly as bad as, like, Mario 3's, or Mario 2's, or even Mario 1. Although, Mario 1 is pretty simple. So, despite my complaining, just know, it comes out of a place of love. And I prefer this game's occasional problems to the much bigger ones that I find in later Mario platformers. It's still a really good game. In terms of core Mario platforming, it's like one of the best. Alright, last level, and then we'll end off the recording. Wendy's Castle. This is a run where I managed to get there in 3 lives with fire and the Yoshi, but of course, can't use Yoshi in castle levels, so it's kind of pointless there. And, yeah, this castle can be tough if you don't know what you're doing. This first part is just about timing and dodging these big spike rods. So this one's relatively simple. You just jump up and down, Here, duck in the saw blade, jump up here to dodge that one. Fairly simple. Just an easy jump. This section right here is brutal. You have these saw blades and these two spike things coming down. And then you just have to time it and run through all of them like that. So get as close as you can. And then as soon as they go up, try to run and make a mad dash. The timing won't always work out for you, but if you have to take one hit, that's fine. This is just a matter of making sure that second saw is out of your way so you can jump. Fairly simple. And then here, what I like to do is just barely nudge on the D-pad. So like, wait for the spike to go down, run, and then barely nudge as close as I can to it, and then run once it goes up. And if you time that out correctly, you should be fine. But that's only the first part. The second part is above a bottomless pit, and you're having to deal with these sun enemies that can't die, and they're big too. So you either hope that you have power-ups so you can get hit more often, or that you're reflexed enough to jump above them and wait it out for the timing. Because there's certain spots where you're just not safe to jump. So you got to get real comfortable at trying to defend your turf on these little platforms and hope to God you'll be fine. I typically like to have a more defensive, safe approach here. I don't want to rush this castle, if at all possible. Because rushing is your worst nightmare. Because the timing, I guarantee you, will not work out. Or you'll run into something you didn't want to. Or you'll make a stupid mistake. And then you get frustrated, and then you run out of lives, and then you gotta do the next 2 levels. So take your time. The boss is not something that needs all 100 seconds. It's just one where you're waiting for her to come up. Fairly simple. And of course I died on that one, it's because the dumb fire. But no, take your time through the level. Don't stress it. You get a checkpoint halfway through. And the more you do it, the better you get at it, right? So even though it could be frustrating the first time around, now that you kind of know how it works, now that you can observe the timing of it, kind of go in and out, realize the patterns, and then just be ready for the windy fight. Because that windy fight can be the most unpredictable. You can blaze through this whole last section with the fire flower, and that's still not a guarantee that you'll beat Wendy, because those fireballs that bounce up and down and where Wendy decides to pop up is not guaranteed. It's not always the same pattern every time. So you're going to deal with occasional bullshit that way, and that's fine. The occasional bullshit is fine. But just stick it out, play it patient, don't make any crucial mistakes. So watch this. Clone, wait it out. Clone, wait it out. Wait till Wendy comes to you if you have to. I don't know what she's doing over there. That's fine. We still have 200 seconds. There she is. 1 down. I like staying by the corners just so I can get a general idea of what those fireballs are going to do. And there's the 3rd hit. Done. Easy. But yeah, like I said, I like being in the corners. That way I can see where those fireballs are going a little bit easier. And even though you have to wait for Wendy that way, I think it's a safer option. And with that, we've gone through, what, like Roy's Castle, the Chocolate Island Castle, Wendy's, and this whole stage. I can tell you, it took a lot longer than that in the original playthrough. We did way better this time around. And I want to thank you all for coming with me and watching it as well. If you liked the episode, be sure to leave a like. If you're new on Lions Honor Gaming, be sure to subscribe. Shout out to the 2 most recent people that did. We just hit 80 because of you. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.